Well, hello, parents, and thank you so much for joining me on my virtual back to school night presentation. I think you're watching this because you did not have an opportunity to come visit me at back to school night. If you did, then much of what you'll hear on this YouTube video will be a repeat, but I'm happy to share with you. So, if you weren't able to come to back to school night, this is kind of a summary of what we talked about. The first thing that I talked about was just basically introducing myself. I am a graduate of Canyon High School, graduated from Canyon High School in 1992, so I'm a product of the William S. Hart District myself. Graduated from UCLA with a degree in history, very proud Bruin, and have been teaching in the Hart District now for this is my 18th year of teaching in the Hart District. I am a husband and a father, and so, as a parent, I know what it's like to care about your child's education. And again, I thank you so much for being involved in your child's education. Even as a senior, they still need that guidance and that direction and that support. And so, I really appreciate you offering that to your son or daughter. Next thing, one of the first things that we talked about, both in my government and my econ classes, was about branding and the importance of how you brand yourself on social media and when you're online. As they're applying for colleges and college scholarships or for employment. One of the things that could be a factor, one of the things if they are competing with another candidate for a scholarship or for admission to a college or for a job, one of the tiebreakers could be what they put out there on social media. And, back when we were teenagers, if you did something wild and crazy, you were at a party and were acting wild and crazy, chances are there's no evidence of it at all. It only exists in your mind and in your memory. But teenagers in 2013, that evidence is all around. At a party these days, someone's doing something wild and crazy, and 50 people take out their cell phones and are capturing it for Instagram or capturing it and sharing it on Twitter or YouTube. So it's so important. I share with my students, it's so important to be aware of what your brand is that you put online and you put out on social media. And so I use myself as an example. If you look me up on Twitter or on Instagram or on Facebook, you're only ever going to see things that are positive. I'd like to share things that are positive or funny or uplifting, but never anything that could potentially negatively represent me. So that was one of the very first lessons that I shared because I enjoy incorporating social media into my assignments. We just, in my government class just recently, had an Instagram assignment about Martin Luther King Jr. and the dream that he had back in 1963. We talked about the historic 50-year anniversary of the March on Washington, and I asked them to talk about what their dream was for 2013 for a better America. And so I like being able to connect what we're learning in the classroom to what they like and what they're into with social media, and so I want them to be able to do it responsibly. Part of my teaching philosophy, a big part of my teaching philosophy, is that education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. And so I want kids to be inspired, whether it's in government or econ. I want them to take the lessons that they learn in my class and be able to go out beyond once they're done with my class and be better citizens and be more responsible when it comes to money and know how to do their taxes and create a budget and be inspired to go and vote and even get excited about being on jury duty. So that's kind of my philosophy when it comes to what I'm all about in the classroom. Parents may ask, Mr. Ippolito, how can I make my child's experience better? Well, talk about school with your child every day, even if they're seniors. Check Infinite Campus, keep vital information up to date, phone numbers, email addresses. From time to time, I will communicate, just like I sent out an email last night, inviting parents to back to school night and just saying, hey, I'm really hoping to meet you. If you got that email address, then your email address is up to date, and if you got the link to this YouTube video, chances are your email address is up to date. But if you're not getting my emails and you're seeing this video some other way, then please make sure that first of all that Hart District emails aren't going into your spam folder, and that you have the most up-to-date email address and that it's spelled correctly with the school registrar. If you have a chance, send in a box of Kleenex with your child, because that's, especially around cold and flu season, that's really valuable. The district does offer their own tissues, but they're kind of like sandpaper, and so your son or daughter, if they, if it's, like I said, cold and flu season or allergies, they'll really appreciate it if you're able to send in a box of Kleenex next time you go to Target or Costco and you get the multi-pack if you can send in one box. I really appreciate when parents do that. Ask your child about what he or she is learning in class. You can also find that out on MrIppolito.com. You can get class updates and reminders on CELI. And I didn't put it in here. I put it in my last email. But if your child is in econ, they can, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll type this in right now. Let me highlight this, and so that you can know what I'm talking about here. CELI is an educational texting service, and it's a way to stay up to date on what's going on. A lot of teachers are using it here at West Ranch. The phone number is 23559. That's the short code. If your son or daughter is in econ, then you would text econ, upper or lowercase, doesn't matter, to 23559, and then you can start tapping into my econ updates. If your child is in my government class, then you would type in ipgovt, G-O-V-T, and send that to the phone number 23559. And so that's a way, using CELI, that's a way that you can tap in and stay up to date on what your son or daughter is learning every time we have class. I'll do test reminders, quiz reminders, homework reminders, and then just try to stay connected, because that's where kids are these days. Teenagers these days, the vast majority of them are always connected to their cell phone. They don't always check email. They may not always check Facebook, but they're always checking text messages. And I think that's true of most Americans now. We're very connected to our cell phones. And so I figured if they're going to be on that anyway, this is a great way to keep communicating and keep up to date on what's going on in the classroom, and remind them of those things. And again, finally, with regard to communication, if you ever have a question, please feel free to, you can call or text. This is my Google Voice number right here. My Google Voice number. That's the number that I publish on my website. That's on my business cards. You feel free to call or text that. You can email me, Ippolito@heartdistrict.org. You can find me on the web at MrIppolito.com. I'm also available. You can, if you search through the West Ranch website, you can find me there as well. Thank you so much for your time and your support of your child and their education, and I'm very excited to have them in my class this semester at West Ranch High School. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.